Welcome back to Atomic Reviews, the place where we analyze the core ideas from impactful books. Today, we're diving into a book that, honestly, has completely changed how millions of people think about money, Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad. We're going to break down its most powerful lessons into a super clear, actionable guide.
And this quote right here, it gets straight to the point. Kiyosaki's whole argument is that our schools teach us how to be good employees, how to work for money, but they totally skip the part about how to have money work for you. The lessons we're about to cover are designed to fill that exact gap.
All right, so here's our game plan. We're going to walk through the 6 core lessons from the book. We'll start with the story of his 2 dads, then we'll talk about the rat race that so many of us are trapped in, and we'll finish up with the playbook the wealthy use to build their fortunes. Let's get into it. So the whole book is really built around this one central story of Robert Kiyosaki's 2 fathers. First, there was his actual dad, highly educated, very smart, but always struggling with money. He calls him his poor dad. And then there was his best friend's father, a guy who dropped out of high school but became this brilliant entrepreneur. That was his rich dad. Now this is where it gets really interesting. Just look at the language. It reveals this huge difference in how they thought. Poor dad would say, "I can't afford it." And that phrase, it was like a final statement. It just shut his brain down. But rich dad, he would ask a question, "How can I afford it?" And that question forced his brain to get to work, to look for solutions, to see possibilities that weren't there before. One mindset built walls, the other opened doors. And that difference in mindset leads us right into the book's first big lesson: why the rich don't work for money. See, to really get this, we have to look at this emotional trap that keeps most people just running in place, financially. Kiyosaki calls it the rat race. Okay, so it all kicks off with fear. You know that feeling, the fear of not being able to pay your rent or your mortgage or your bills. It's an incredibly powerful motivator, right? It's what makes people cling to a job, any job really, just to get that steady paycheck. Fear is what pushes you into the race in the first place. But then, the moment that paycheck hits your account, another emotion takes over: desire. Or, as some might call it, greed. Suddenly, you're seeing a nicer car, a bigger house, a brand new phone, and that desire tempts you to spend because you start to believe that having more stuff is going to make you happier. And boom, there's the trap. Fear makes you work, and then desire makes you spend. And here's the kicker. If you get a raise, what happens? Well, your desire just kicks into a higher gear, you create a more expensive lifestyle, and so you have to keep working to support it. Your entire life starts revolving around the size of your paycheck. It's this endless loop of earning more just to spend more. That is the rat race. So the big question is, how do you get out? Well, Kiyosaki says it all comes down to understanding one incredibly simple but really profound rule. This is the absolute heart of financial literacy. It's the one thing that separates the rich from everybody else. First things first, you have to know what an asset actually is. Forget all the complicated definitions you've heard. Rich Dad's rule is just beautifully simple. An asset is anything that puts money in your pocket. Think of it like a little money machine that keeps generating income, whether you're actively working or sitting on a beach. And, you guessed it, a liability does the exact opposite. It takes money out of your pocket. It's like a constant vacuum cleaner for your wallet. It's not about what something is worth on paper. It's all about which way the cash is flowing. Is it flowing to you or away from you? And here it is. This is the insight that can literally change your financial life. The rich focus all their time and energy on buying assets. Meanwhile, the poor and middle class spend their money on liabilities that they think are assets. And this one single misunderstanding is what keeps so many people stuck. Okay, let's talk about the big one, the most controversial example in the whole book. Your personal home is not an asset. And you might be thinking, wait, what? But think about it. Does it put money in your pocket every month? No. It takes money out of your pocket through the mortgage, property taxes, insurance, repairs. It's a constant cash drain. Rich Dad saw his house for what it was, a liability, while Poor Dad poured his money into his home thinking it was his greatest asset, tying up all his capital in something that was just draining his bank account. So once you get that difference between assets and liabilities, how do you turn that into a strategy? Well, the next lesson is to mind your own business. And to do that, you have to understand the massive difference between your profession and your business. See, your profession is your job, is what you do to pay the bills. It generates income. But your business, that's what you do with your money. Your business is your asset column. It's the collection of things you own that make money for you, completely separate from your job. The advice here is simple. Keep your day job, but start minding your own business by buying assets on the side. So, what does this business actually look like? Well, it's made up of real, income-producing assets. We're talking about things like rental properties that bring in cash flow every month, stocks that pay dividends, bonds, or even intellectual property like a book or music that earns you royalties. These are things that are working for you around the clock. Now, as you get more financially savvy, you can start using the same strategies the wealthy use to really speed up their wealth creation. And this is where your financial IQ, your financial intelligence really comes into play. It's less about book smarts and more about being brave enough to create opportunities. This slide shows one of the biggest, totally legal advantages the rich have. As an employee, you earn money, the government immediately takes its slice through taxes, and then you get to spend whatever is left. But the rich often use a corporation. The corporation earns money, then it spends money on all its business expenses, and then it pays taxes on what's left over. The order is completely flipped. It's a different game with different rules. A huge part of this playbook is shifting how you see your job. The advice is to work to learn, not just to earn. Look for jobs that will teach you high-value skills, like sales, marketing, communication, and leadership. These are the building blocks for any successful business. In the long run, these skills can become your most valuable assets of all. Okay, so let's tie all of this together. The real message of Rich Dad, Poor Dad isn't just about getting a higher-paying job or making more money. It's about achieving true freedom through financial education. And misquote right here, it says it all. You can earn $1 million a year and still be totally broke if you're spending $1 million a year. Real wealth isn't measured by the size of your paycheck. It's measured by your ability to turn that paycheck into assets that work for you. It's about keeping and growing your money. And that really leaves us with one final powerful question to think about for ourselves. Take a look at your own life. Is it being controlled by the need for your next paycheck, keeping you stuck in that rat race? Or are you actively building an asset column that's strong enough to give you real freedom, the freedom to choose? According to Robert Kiyosaki, mastering that difference, that's the key to your entire financial future. We really hope this breakdown has helped clarify the powerful and surprisingly simple ideas from Rich Dad, Poor Dad. For more deep dives that break down big ideas into clear insights, make sure you explore the rest of our channel. If you found this useful, do us a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. And don't forget to ring the notification bell so you don't miss our next one. Thanks for watching.